China's history is a rich tapestry that spans over 5,000 years. From its ancient myths to its emergence as a global power, China has been a land of emperors, philosophers, warriors, and innovators. Join us as we explore the story of one of the world's oldest civilizations, a story filled with triumphs and tribulations, revolutions and renaissances. Welcome to the epic saga of Chinese history. The story of China begins with ancient myths of the 3 sovereigns and 5 emperors, legendary figures who are said to have taught humanity essential skills like agriculture, medicine, and governance. These early tales set the foundation for Chinese culture, emphasizing harmony, respect for nature, and the importance of family. As these myths gave way to reality, China's first real settlements emerged along the Yellow River, known as the cradle of Chinese civilization. The Shang dynasty marked China's entry into recorded history. Known for its advances in bronze work, oracle bones, and early Chinese writing, the Shang established a centralized state that controlled much of the Yellow River Valley. Religion played a central role in Shang society, with kings acting as intermediaries between the gods and the people. The dynasty's influence can still be seen today in China's reverence for ancestors and the continuity of cultural traditions. The Zhou dynasty introduced the concept of the mandate of heaven, which would shape Chinese politics for centuries. This philosophy held that a ruler's legitimacy was granted by divine favor, but could be revoked if the ruler failed to govern justly. The Zhou period also saw the rise of influential thinkers like Confucius and Laozi, whose teachings on morality, governance, and nature became the cornerstones of Chinese philosophy. Yet, the Zhou's power waned, leading to the chaotic Warring States period. The Warring States period was a time of constant warfare, as rival kingdoms vied for control of China. This era produced brilliant military strategists like Sun Tzu, whose Art of War remains a classic on strategy in leadership. Amid the chaos, the 100 schools of thought flourished, offering competing visions for how to restore order. Ultimately, the Qin state, led by a determined ruler, would emerge victorious, unifying China under one rule for the first time in history. Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of China, transformed the country. He centralized power, standardized laws, weights, and measures, and initiated massive infrastructure projects, including the first version of the Great Wall. His reign, though brief, left a lasting impact on Chinese history. However, his harsh methods and heavy taxation led to widespread discontent, and after his death, the dynasty quickly collapsed, making way for the rise of the Han. The Han dynasty is often considered the golden age of Chinese civilization. It expanded China's borders, solidified the Silk Road trade routes, and made significant advancements in technology, literature, and medicine. Confucianism became the state philosophy, shaping Chinese education and society for generations. Under the Han, China became a beacon of culture and power in East Asia. But after centuries of prosperity, internal strife and external invasions led to the dynasty's fall, ushering in a period of division and turmoil. The fall of the Han dynasty plunged China into a period of division, known as the 3 Kingdoms and 6 Dynasties. Warlords carved out their own territories, and China fractured into competing states. Despite the turmoil, this era inspired epic tales like Romance of the 3 Kingdoms and saw the spread of Buddhism across China. Monasteries became centers of learning and refuge, providing hope in a time of uncertainty. It would take centuries before China was reunited under a new empire. The Sui dynasty reunified China after centuries of fragmentation, laying the groundwork for the Tang dynasty's cultural and political renaissance. The Tang era was a time of great prosperity, with Chang'an becoming a cosmopolitan hub on the Silk Road. Poetry, painting, and trade flourished, making the Tang one of China's most celebrated dynasties. But internal rebellions and external threats weakened the empire, leading to its eventual decline and the onset of the fractious 5 Dynasties and 10 Kingdoms period. The Song dynasty was a time of remarkable innovation. Advances in printing, navigation, and gunpowder transformed Chinese society, and the empire became a center of global trade. Urban life flourished, and a thriving middle class emerged. The Song valued education, leading to the establishment of prestigious academies and the refinement of civil service exams. Yet, the constant threat from northern invaders, like the Jurchen and Mongols, would eventually bring the Song to its end, paving the way for the Mongol Yuan dynasty. The Qin dynasty was China's last imperial dynasty. During the 17th century, they expanded China's borders to unprecedented sizes, integrating diverse peoples and cultures. The dynasty witnessed a thriving cultural scene, but also faced challenges, such as internal uprisings and external pressures from Western powers. Events like the Opium Wars and the Taiping Rebellion exposed the Qing's weaknesses, leading to a decline that culminated in the fall of the imperial system in 1912. The Taiping Rebellion was one of the deadliest conflicts in history, led by Hong Xiuquan, who believed himself to be the brother of Jesus Christ. The movement attracted millions, aiming to overthrow the Qing and establish a heavenly kingdom. The rebellion left a trail of devastation across southern China, resulting in millions of deaths before the Qing ultimately defeated them with foreign assistance. The Opium Wars were a turning point, as Britain forced China to open its ports to the opium trade. China's defeat led to the Treaty of Nanking, which ceded Hong Kong to Britain and opened several Chinese ports to foreign trade. This era marked the beginning of the century of humiliation, where Western powers imposed unfair treaties that eroded Chinese sovereignty. Frustration with foreign influence and the Qing's inability to modernize led to the Xinhai Revolution, which was spearheaded by reformers like Sun Yat-sen. In 1911, the revolution toppled the Qing dynasty, ending over 2,000 years of imperial rule. The Republic of China was proclaimed, but the road ahead was fraught with challenges as China faced political fragmentation and warlordism. Following the fall of the Qing, China was divided among regional warlords, each vying for control. The central government in Beijing held little power as different factions battled for dominance. The country experienced immense suffering during this time, with famine and military campaigns ravaging the land. Amidst the chaos, nationalist and communist movements began to take root, leading to new ideological struggles. In the early 20th century, the Chinese Nationalist Party, or Kuomintang, KMT, emerged as a force aiming to unify China under a central government. Led by Chiang Kai-shek, the nationalists launched campaigns to end warlord rule and sought to modernize China. But their ambitions were challenged by the rising influence of the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, led by figures like Mao Zedong. What followed was a brutal civil war, a conflict that would reshape the future of China. From guerrilla warfare to full-scale battles, the war claimed millions of lives and left the country in turmoil. Despite several attempts at peace, the fighting continued, even during the Japanese invasion. In 1937, Japan launched a full-scale invasion of China, marking the beginning of the Second Sino-Japanese War. The invasion brought unimaginable suffering, including the horrific Nanjing Massacre, where hundreds of thousands of Chinese civilians were killed. The war devastated China, but it also fostered a temporary alliance between the nationalists and communists against a common enemy. Despite their cooperation, the underlying tensions between the two parties never truly vanished. As World War II drew to a close, the Japanese defeat left a power vacuum in China, reigniting the Civil War with even greater intensity. In 1949, after years of bloody conflict, the Chinese Communist Party, led by Mao Zedong, emerged victorious. On October 1st, Mao stood in Tiananmen Square and proclaimed the founding of the People's Republic of China. The nationalists, defeated, retreated to the island of Taiwan, where they established a separate government. The communist victory marked a new chapter for China, as the country sought to rebuild under a socialist framework. Land reforms, nationalization of industries, and a drive for collectivization aimed to reshape China's society and economy, but at a tremendous human cost. The Great Leap Forward was Mao's ambitious plan to transform China into a global industrial power, with an emphasis on mass mobilization and collectivization. The program aimed to rapidly increase agricultural and steel production by organizing the population into communes. However, unrealistic quotas and poor planning led to widespread food shortages. The resulting famine became one of the deadliest in human history, with millions of Chinese suffering from starvation. The failure of the Great Leap Forward shattered China's economy and left a scar on the country's psyche, but Mao remained undeterred in his vision for China's future. The Cultural Revolution was Mao's response to perceived threats against his revolutionary ideals. He called on the youth to purge counter-revolutionary elements from society, leading to the rise of the Red Guards, who targeted intellectuals, traditional culture, and political rivals. Schools were closed, cultural heritage was destroyed, and millions were persecuted or sent to labor camps. The Cultural Revolution tore the social fabric of China apart, resulting in a decade of chaos and upheaval. When Mao passed away in 1976, China was left to reckon with the deep wounds inflicted during this turbulent period. After Mao's death, Deng Xiaoping emerged as China's new leader, ushering in a period of reform and opening up that would transform the nation. Deng moved away from strict communist policies and embraced market reforms, allowing for private businesses, foreign investment, and agricultural productivity to flourish. Special economic zones were established, attracting global trade and investment, and lifting millions out of poverty. China's economy began to boom, but with the rapid growth came challenges like income inequality and corruption. Despite these issues, Deng's reforms laid the foundation for China's emergence as a global economic power. Amidst the rapid changes, a desire for political reform began to grow among China's students and intellectuals. In 1989, thousands gathered in Tiananmen Square, calling for greater political freedom and an end to government corruption. The peaceful demonstrations captured the world's attention, but the government's response was harsh and uncompromising. On June 4th, the military was deployed to clear the square, resulting in a tragic and violent crackdown. The events of Tiananmen Square became a sensitive subject in China, but they left an indelible mark on the country's modern history and its approach to governance. Entering the 21st century, China continued its meteoric rise, becoming the world's second-largest economy. Through initiatives like the Belt and Road, China expanded its influence across Asia, Africa, and beyond, building infrastructure and fostering trade relationships. At home, China invested heavily in technology, innovation, and urbanization, transforming cities like Beijing and Shanghai into global hubs. Yet, China's rapid growth has also led to challenges, including environmental degradation and geopolitical tensions. As the world watches, China's ambitions and global role continue to evolve, shaping the future of international relations and the global economy. From the ancient myths of the Yellow River Valley to its rise as a global superpower, China's history is a testament to resilience, innovation, and the enduring spirit of its people. It is a story of emperors and revolutionaries, poets and warriors, each chapter adding depth to the rich legacy of Chinese civilization. As China navigates the complexities of the modern world, its past remains a source of inspiration and a guide for the future. The history of China is not just a tale of a nation, but a story that belongs to all of humanity. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through China's history. We hope this exploration has given you a deeper understanding of the country's remarkable past and its influence on our world today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment with your thoughts or questions. Stay tuned for more stories from history that continue to shape our world. Until next time, keep exploring, and remember, the past is never truly gone, it lives on in the stories we share.